Let's talk about Bill Gates and future pandemics.
I thought you were going to talk about the anal swab.
How-
You said we're deep.
A deep throat.
Martha May is single, she says. I wonder why.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Oh, cute.
This is out of Forbes.
On that note.
Billionaire Bill Gates thinks the world needs a massive global effort to prepare for future pandemics, which include investing billions into scientific development, mass testing, a global pandemic alert system, and a team of infectious disease first responders. In the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's annual letter, Gates, who is the fourth richest person in the world, called on wealthy nations to invest tens of billions of dollars to collectively prepare for the next pandemic after COVID-19. Gates hopes the world will develop mega diagnostic platforms, quote, by the next pandemic, which will be able to test 20% of the global population per week. Did you guys read this in depth at all?
Let me
A little
guess.
bit.
Microsoft is going to do the
Yeah.
backroom work on it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip to this, what they call in this section of the story, key background. With his fortune from Microsoft, Gates and his wife Melinda started the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in '97, focusing on global health. The foundation has since grown into the largest private charitable foundation in the world and emerged as a behind-the-scenes force in the fight against the coronavirus. Skipping down here, Gates has become a central figure in the baseless COVID-19 conspiracy theories, claiming he wants to use vaccines to microchip the world's population. But despite the foundation's public commitment to equity, it has come under scrutiny for urging Oxford University to sell exclusive rights to its vaccine to pharmaceuticals company AstraZeneca instead of donating them, and blah, 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 a lot of different things. Talks about his TED Talk in 2015 where he warned the world about the outbreaks and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I would say, on the positive note that, or from a positive point of view, is he's trying to do better for the world. And I think it's a no-brainer that we as a society need to learn from what's happened, obviously. And there's plenty of room for improvement. But I don't know that somebody had to come out and say that specifically. I think that's just kind of a no-brainer thought. Who takes the lead on that, I guess, is the question. Whether it's the World Health Organization or the CDC or if they create a special nonprofit, hopefully, for it. I don't think anybody should profit off of this.
Right.
If it's for the betterment of the world, but that's not how it's going to happen. Everybody's got to make money somehow.
Special interest.
Special interest.
So so here's where I get hung up. It's his idea, his way, right? It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of room for anybody else's positioning in this and in his foundation. And I think that's a very dangerous thing when you have one billionaire throwing this around and saying it needs to be this way and that way, where it's not voted on, it's not discussed. This is what his team, quote unquote, has come up with and what he's come up with. I'll be completely 100% frank. I'm not a fan of Bill Gates having this kind of influence he's not a doctor. He's not, he has
conflict of interest. I mean, I keep thinking of that. Hasn't anybody thought of that? I mean, well, we all have, but hasn't anybody acted on that? Like the conflict of interest that he has.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anybody's acted on it, but so you keep digging in this story, and he's been highly involved in climate change and things like that. He has the most farmland in the entire country that he's a single owner of. He just bought a $33 million ish mansion in California on the coast, and so it's like. In 2010, also he threw out there that he would donate his fortune to some of these things. Well, his fortune has more than doubled now. His fortune he's worth $133 million as of this month. Billion.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, way off there. $133 billion.
Wow.
As of January, is what he's worth. His net worth at the time he said in 2010 was around 57 billion. So it's like, I don't know, man. I again, I'm not a fan of his because he's been under a lot of scrutiny over the years for the different bugs that they implanted in Microsoft, so that we had to pay more to get the bugs fixed. So I struggle with that. I struggle with your optimism on the way this is, Craig. I'll be honest.
And I'm just trying to look on the bright side.
Yeah.
And should he be in charge of it? No, it should be the health world, and it should be professionals from all over the world, not just one country or one company or one family.
Yeah.
There needs to be some
Diversity.
collaboration.
Yeah.
That's a fancy word.
Input.
Yeah.
And I
Other
agree.
input.
I agree too. I like to see the good in situations, so I think that him bringing this up, it's needed. We definitely need a game plan. We've been dealing with this, and we've had pandemics in the past. We're predicting that we'll continue to have them in the future. So I like the idea that but I as well, Matt, I'm suspicious. He's such a charitable guy, but it just seems like that there's more money to be had there. And so I question that. I question, like you said, I definitely have an issue when somebody has so much money and they sort of want to do this and that. And let's face it, just like you said, Martha, focus on your computers, focus on Microsoft. Now you're going into the medical, and and you're having bugs and situations with your, there's a trust. I think there's trust, uncertainty there.
Yeah, and the Microsoft thing and the trust, I like how you said that, because he actually still owns enough of Microsoft, right? He supposedly was going to get rid of all of it and focus on this, but he still has shares and making plenty of money off of Microsoft alone. So when someone in 2010, 11 years ago, depending upon what the dates were, but you say that you're going to give away your fortune, and then he's more than doubled his fortune.
And then you buy a $33
$33
million mansion. And I'm sorry, somebody who's super charitable, anybody, I don't care who you are, I'm not even going to call Bill Gates out, but anybody who is so charitable and they want to do this and they've been doing it for years, and then you go and buy a $33 million mansion, I have questions. In
California, though, that doesn't get
It
as much as you
doesn't.
think.
No, and I will say that California, New York, you have certain areas where you're not really surprised by it. But I'm sorry, this is me and my brain, and I'm thinking $1 million sure could feed a lot of people.
Yeah, and the
It's
thing,
changed, though. It's been 10 years. Things change. Maybe it's a totally different outlook. Maybe his life, and we don't know his personal life. We see stuff, but stuff has changed in 10 years from when he said that.
It's
is a
changed.
different
It's
world.
doubled.
Right? No, I know what I'm saying.
And we don't know exactly. I mean, we
Right.
can. If we dig super deep, we can find out all charitable organizations that they provide to this and that. Sometimes we're very quick to judge, and we're this and that. And I'm sure he's quite giving, but, it's all about leading by example. You can say what you want in this, but it's about leading by example. So if you're going to create this Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and you're going to do this and you're going to do that, you need to lead by example. And buying a $33 million mansion
on the coast.
on the coast.
Let me,
yeah,
Integrity.
I want to. When you're done, I want to.
yeah, and that's just always been my thing, man. It's like, the average human being cannot go out and get a loan for $33 million for a mansion. And I don't want to take it away. I'm sure he's earned his money. I'm sure he's worked really hard for that. So I don't want to be too judgmental, but I do have questions. And I would imagine some other, individuals do too.
I'm going to guess he paid cash. Just a hunch.
Right?
Under the table.
I'm not sure if that's true.
Under the
because
table.
it's-
That's a lot of
look at the
suitcases.
interest that you can write off on.
Oh,
$33
yeah, that's
million
true.
Oh, it's total write-off.
But
He's a
anyway,
businessman.
what I want to say, you brought up trust, and I kept digging into this. Climate change says, these people in climate change say, Al Gore, when he made it very public, said that literally, if things would have gone even a small percentage along the way of like the prediction, England would be underwater right now.
Right.
Bill Gates spends $33 million-ish on the coast of California.
Yes.
When climate change says he'll be underwater before
Thank
his
you.
life expectancy is up.
Does this man know something we don't?
Trust.
Right.
That's, I start to connect all these dots, and I'm lost with, that doesn't make any sense.
Integrity.
Why didn't he buy up in the mountains?
But at the same time, these are the individuals of wealth that will buy a $33 million mansion and leave a year later. Maybe that's slight exaggeration. I don't know. But to them, that's so easy to do so. They have movers, they have this. So I don't know. I mean, I think we see, this climate change affecting our future. We see that the coast, the coastal areas, we definitely have seen that. So I don't know. Maybe he's just like, oh, I'll be fine for a few years. I don't know what's going on in his brain, but it definitely is sending mixed messages.
Yeah.
I'll touch on the real estate part of this just 'cause whatever. For as little as I know about real estate in California, but looking at it from somebody that will never have that kind of money, but for $33 million on the coast, you're not getting what you may think you're getting. Number one, it's on the coast, which is a premium. And somebody with his status and his target on his back, he's going to want acreage, just protection in having people away from him.
Security
wise,
yeah.
photographers, media, whatever. So that might get him a couple hundred acres in a modest house on the coast.
Yeah.
That may not be anything like his house in Seattle. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But again, for someone in his position in life and the target that's on his back and his children's back, he might need that for his own security. So, just a different point of view on
way of looking at it.
Maybe he has an
that.
escape submarine or something.
I'm thinking an underground
or
tunnel.
spaceship
Water.
or whatever.
Water, yeah.
Water.
Tunnel
Yeah.
system.
Water.
Goes to Mexico. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Can't take the wall. He's going to take the spaceship.
He's going to the moon.
He owns the back half of the movie.
Right. I'm assuming, right?
The back half that,
Him and
yeah.
Richard Branson, they're going to go there.
Yeah.
Take a visit.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it really difficult that this guy that has billions of dollars and has absolutely no degree, and I'm not saying he's not intelligent, but he doesn't know anything about this stuff. So, personally,
Right.
you know,
They say that if you spend 10,000 hours doing something, you become an expert. So I'm curious, has he spent 10,000 hours studying this, climate change, the pandemic? I don't know.
which raises another point, like how can he have this much information on this many things, because you can't spend that kind of time on everything.
Right.
He has enough money to hire people to do it for him.
Oh,
So
that
then he
man
gets a
knows people in
briefing.
high
Yeah,
places.
he gets a briefing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing what money can do.
And he's got a lot of it. So
The panel. I still like a panel of people, input from others.
It's his panel. He has a panel of people.
Well, yeah, but
But it's his panel.
It's his
That was my
panel.
point.
Yeah, it's his panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
I mean, at least-
he gets the final say. He gets
Yeah.
Right.
to put out to the public what he wants to go to the public.
Nobody else has brought this up yet, though. I mean, he's the first one to address this, isn't he?
No. Oh,
No,
gosh,
I mean,
no.
in his own panel.
No. There's been other people that have invested a lot in this kind of stuff too over the years. I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, but I mean, with the pandemic stuff, with this, no.
Oh, the government's had different things in place, and I think what happens is they in 2009 with H1N1, the PPE was depleted significantly, and so there was some of those different things that were going on. This was before, what I'm saying is that was in place before he started this.
Okay.
What's very interesting, though, to me, and well, our last pandemic, let's start there. It was 100 years ago. Now he's talking about we're going to be having these pandemics every, 5 years? Is it?
By the way, did anybody get a little fear out of that, of like talking about these future pandemics that are inevitable? And you're like, well, when's the next one? I'm just trying to get over this one.
I know.
And I mean, I see that. I mean, we've seen our past, we've seen our history, we know it happens. So yes, it's good to be prepared, but at the same time, it's all about verbiage, what you say, and how you deliver your message. And I kind of got a little bit of that, and I guess maybe that's what we need sometimes, right? Sometimes we need a little bit of that to be like, hey, listen, this will happen again. Let's get prepared. I love the idea of that. Am I comfortable with Bill Gates being the head of that? I don't know. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
Here's my absolute, like, down to the bone type deal with this. Why are we not talking about being strong? Why are we not talking? Why doesn't he spend this money on putting up gyms? Because there's no money in it. Why isn't he spending this money on vitamin D, which we all know helps fight coronavirus? Why is the money not being spent on being strong? Why is it being spent on controlling things?
Compared to just putting a chip in everybody?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's real accurate. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh,
but,
that's part of the plan. I mean,
no, we don't know that that's part of the plan.
Okay, well, I'm
send me the
assuming-
I don't know
article,
if that's
send me
part
the
of the
proof.
plan, but I will say that I believe I remember I have heard in the past with different things that he has sort of talked about that.
He suggested it for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yes.
uncomfortable with it. I'm going to throw that out there. I would definitely not want a microchip in my body.
But to say that's what he's doing,
Right.
like subvertly, I'm not ready to go there.
No.
That's my point.
No.
Has he suggested it? Absolutely. But that's a pretty big leap from suggesting it to actually putting it in.
And I would
vaccines.
imagine who's suggesting it, they're going to be first in line to get the microchip in their own body, right?
You would think.
right.
Yeah.
Lead by example.
But
Right.
I mean, so you walk down that path, and being strong, there's no money in it. Being scared, there's a ton of money in it.
Right.
Having people, mandatory vaccines, mandatory masks, mandatory fear. There's money in fear. There's
fear, you get sick, you get ill, and there you go. You're going to the doctor, the therapist, and
Yep.
there you go. It's just
Pharmaceutical.
on and on.
Yep.
Pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
My
Prescription
shiny
meds.
acronym. Y'all see my shiny shirt here? Am I on camera? Yep, there we go. Shiny. First word is that I did it is strong. It's about being strong, right? And why are we not doing that? That's where the nuts and bolts of it is for me. Vaccines don't make us strong.
No. I think we need to.
True.
I
To
love that
suppress.
because I really do feel like we need to focus more on that. We need to focus on mentally being strong, and from mentally being strong, you can physically be strong. I think we all
Absolutely.
know that when we have a bad day, our anxiety is getting to us, depression. It definitely you feel it physically. You're tired, you're achy, this and that. So I definitely think we all need, and it's something that we all can do ourselves. It's every day waking up, have an attitude of gratitude, starting your day that way, and most definitely don't wait to see what kind of day you're going to have. Define the day you're going to have. You choose, and from that's how you be strong. That's how you continue to be strong. And in my personal perspective is I don't just do it for myself. I go out into the community. And I pitch this, and I feel it, energy wise, and I just hope that somebody kind of latches on.
I can personally say that I have turned down pretty significant offers to speak and kind of do my thing for other companies, which includes the government. And I've turned that down because they want you to do it a certain way, and they want you to take. They don't want to. I'm not saying that everyone was this way, but in my experience, several of them have been, and they want to take the enabling factor away from you. They don't want to enable you to do anything or be better, but they do want to make it more of a do it this way and do it our way because we know what's best. Well, then who knows what's best? I mean, it gets down to the whole Bill Gates thing. A single
Right.
person knows what's best.
Right.
His controlled people know what's best, and so that's for me too. Like, it's a dangerous place to be. We need to teach people. We need to educate people. We need to make them mentally strong first.
Empower
like
them.
you say.
Empower
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to go to the gym.
Rach, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it would be such a different. I would love the guy if he was pitching something like that. I mean, I'm like, this makes sense, Bill.
Right.
Pitch some mental
Right.
health advocacy. Pitch some mental health awareness. Let's help our individuals out there. Yes, that needs to be done as well, but you have so much money. I'm sure it would be helpful in other areas as well.
Yeah, but you go to the gym. What does that cost a month? $10? You know, some gyms.
Right.
There's no money in gyms.
I always look at it this way. I did a gym membership, and it was very momentarily. Like, all I did was the treadmill. I think it was a lot of, like, I was nervous to go to the other things. And I just found, like, I do so much better outside of a gym, walking, just being in nature, you know, hiking, just being creative in other ways to, you know, not only work my body, but work my mind.
My ultimate point being is that the pitch of making somebody strong, not
Yeah.
necessarily the gym,
Right.
but
Yeah.
everywhere you look on this pandemic, the big business, the big billions, is all on fear and not making you
Scare
strong.
factor.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of people have asked how they can support the work we're doing here at Matt Logan Speaks. Well, you see this hammer that I got in my hand? It's pretty big. All you have to do is hammer the share button. Go ahead and hammer out a comment to us. Go ahead and hammer the like button. Go ahead and hammer the subscription button. Go ahead and hammer the notification bell so that when we have new content up, you're the first to know about it. We really appreciate the comments, shares, likes, because you know what? That's the best way you can support us, because the algorithms on all these fancy computers, that's what they need. We appreciate it.